Ah, the Gibson girl, the ideal Edwardian beauty. I love these illustrations and the hair that they depict. It's not the only Edwardian style, but it is my favorite. It did take a lot of trial and error to figure out how to do this on my naturally limp, straight hair, so here's how I did it. I started the night before by washing my hair, adding a volumizing mousse and a heat protectant cream. I let it air dry overnight, and then I just brushed it out and started using a wand on it. I could have used a curling iron, I could have done pen curls or Marcel waves. Basically, I just need to create as much volume and texture in my hair as possible to create this style. To help with that, I'm using a smaller diameter wand. This one is tapered. It goes from 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch. Anywhere in that range is perfect for this type of style. Any smaller, your hair is going to get really frizzy. Any larger, and you're really not going to get enough volume out of your curls. I'm now going to put a side part into my hair. Not too deep, but a side part is essential for creating that iconic Edwardian swoop into the front. Also note that I have used smaller pieces of hair here in the front just to create more detail and more texture in that front section. Now that I have switched to the other side of my head, I've actually switched direction. I want to make sure that all the curls are going away from my face. So they'll go away from my face and sort of end up in the middle of the back of my head facing each other. I'm moving through this curling process pretty quickly. It took me about 20 minutes to do this curl to my hair. The curls don't have to be perfect. I just need them to be set and, again, to create that volume that I need. The rest of this style took in real time about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes to curl, 20 minutes to style. It was 40 minutes to create this whole style. Once the hair is completely curled, I'm going to run my fingers through it to break up the curls and get that volume going that I have been working to create. This product I'm using now is called Texturizing Taffy. I cannot recommend this product enough no matter what your hair type is, but especially if you have mine, it has been a game changer, especially for this Edwardian style. It gives my hair some texture and volume so that I don't have to tease it as much, I don't have to curl it as much, and I don't have to use as much foundational padding and stuff underneath. It does all that work for me. A little bit goes a very long way though. Don't overdo it with this product. I'm now going to add a slightly deeper part going from the back of my ear in a diagonal up shape to create that swoop, and then I'm just going to double check it. Sometimes my hair likes to be contrary and it is going to want to be on the opposite side of what I've curled, so I always double check it before I make a commitment. I'm now going to section my hair from ear to ear, taking the top and pinning that away from the bottom. And then I'm going to add a fall or an extension piece. I don't have enough density to do this style. I need some fake hair, and this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a reserve of a little bit of hair from each side, and then I'm gonna take just a little bit more hair from the skinny side, the side that doesn't have the swoop, because I need more on that side to even it out. I'm now going to take all that hair, taking out a little bit of that deep part just so I don't have as much to deal with. And I'm going to give it a twist away from the head. That is the trick to this swoop. Because I have used a texturizing taffy product, I don't need to tease it to be able to manipulate it in this way. If you're not going to use a product, you're going to need to tease that front section so that you can pull it out the way that I'm doing, and it still looks voluminous and creates that shape. And then take the rest of that hair and simply roll it back away from my head to create a roll on the side of my head. I'm going to incorporate my own hair into the fake hair and just create a nice soft roll. Once I get to the side, I create a little U shape. Create softness right behind and fullness right behind the ear. That's really why I create that shape that way. Gonna pin everything into place. It doesn't have to be perfect at this point. I'll refine it as I go along. Incorporating my own hair as much as possible, continuing to fuss with that swoop, which is the whole point of this style, so I get a little obsessive about it, but making sure that I love it. I'm now going to take the skinny side, I'm going to take my false hair and a little bit of my own hair and roll them together to kind of mimic what I've done on the other side. First though, I want to brush them together to create a little bit more volume because I have more hair on the other side and I want it to look even. I'm going to cheat by adding air, and that's what I'm doing by just brushing it out and adding a little bit more volume there rather than teasing it. I'm then going to pin that into place, mimicking what I did on the other side with that U shape. I then take that deep part that I had reserved before. I've added a little bit of texturizing taffy there just to smooth it out. And then I'm going to tease it because I need to have a lot of control for this piece to work. I need to be able to weave it in and incorporate it into those two sections, that roll on the skinny side and the swoop that I created on the fuller side. So this is a really crucial piece, which is why I left it on its own so I can deal with it just all by itself. On this side, again, I'm going to tease just to give me more control, a little bit more volume so it matches the fuller side. Pin it into place. Don't want to deal with that, so I go back to the top and incorporate that piece. Usually tuck it in behind the swoop just to add more fullness there on the top of my head. A little bit more taffy on my fingers, a little bit more swoop refining. I divide my own hair that I had reserved before, added some texturizing taffy to it, a little bit of teasing, and then I'm going to create a really soft roll, almost like a 18th century buckle curl, and roll it up and over that side roll that I did before to continue that sort of halo of soft hair that I've created. A little bit hairspray, that first layer, let's do it. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, a little bit of texturizing taffy, a little bit of teasing, doing my best to match the skinny side with the full side. Using a nice, soft, billowy, pillowy tease here, nothing too sharp. Everything about this is voluminous and soft. Once I have finished pinning this into place, it is time to look in a mirror because I have been doing this all by feel and by kind of weight, like how it feels on my head. Is it even? Did I have an even distribution of hair? That sort of thing. So I take a look and I've got a little bit of a gap in the center, so I'm just going to bring a little bit of hair over, weave it together, add a pin. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm now going to create a bun out of another fall. This one is a spiral curled fall that I have. And I've simply tied it in a knot, and then I just pull it and manipulate it to take the ends in and make it as big as possible. Add a few pins just for stability. Pull it out so it's the right size. To secure the bun, I like to use these heavy brass hairpins from LLBC Apothecary on Etsy. They're really sturdy and they work really well for dense hair like this big bun, and fake hair in general. I really love these pins. I could have placed the bun in several different places. I placed it really high for this style. I was going for a little earlier in the Edwardian period. You also see it a little lower. You can see it all the way at the bottom. Just depends on what look exactly you're going for. But this is where I put it today. Double check everything in the mirror. There's no gaps I need to fill. And just refining the style a little bit. A little bit of hairspray, patting the hairspray in, working on those little flyaways. You know, all those things that are really fun to do when you have a lot of time on your hands, but it's really stressful when you're running late for an event. For hairspray, I'm using a flexible hold hairspray. It's super sticky, so it works really great for flyaways and just keeping everything in place without it being too stiff. I don't need a lot of hairspray. Again, this is a soft hairstyle. To finish it off, I'm using one of the gems from my collection. This is an antique faux egret pick. It's actually made of spun glass. It is one of my absolute pride and joys and the perfect finishing touch for this hairstyle. And here it is in all its glory, my interpretation of a Gibson girl Edwardian hairstyle. It took many years of trial and error to make this work for my hair, and I hope this is helpful for you too.